Imagine walking along the ocean floor in complete darkness. The pressure is crushing, the water is near freezing, and food is scarce, and then, emerging from the shadows, you see something that looks like a creature from another planet, armored, pale, with multiple legs and long antennae sweeping through the sediment. This is not science fiction. This is the giant isopod. The animal you're looking at belongs to a group of crustaceans called amaze, commonly known as giant isopods. And while they may look prehistoric, alien, or even terrifying to some, they are actually distant relatives of a creature most of us have seen before, the humble pill bug, or woodlouse, that curls into a ball in your backyard. But unlike their tiny land-dwelling cousins, giant isopods live deep in the ocean, often between 500 and 7,000 feet below the surface. And down there, they've evolved into one of the most fascinating scavengers on Earth. Let's dive into their world. Giant isopods are often described as living fossils. Their body design has remained largely unchanged for millions of years. Fossil evidence suggests that similar isopods were roaming ancient seas over 160 million years ago, back when dinosaurs still ruled the land. Their bodies are segmented and protected by a hard exoskeleton made of chitin. This armor acts like a natural shield against predators and the harsh conditions of the deep sea. Each segment overlaps the next, forming a flexible yet protective shell. They have 7 pairs of legs, which is actually where the name isopod comes from, meaning equal foot. These legs allow them to crawl slowly across the seabed, navigating soft sediment in search of food. At the front of their body, they have powerful mouthparts designed for tearing and gripping. And those long antennae? They are sensory tools constantly scanning the dark environment for movement, scent, and potential meals. The deep sea is one of the most extreme environments on our planet. There is no sunlight. Temperatures hover just above freezing. The pressure can be hundreds of times stronger than at sea level. Food is rare and unpredictable. So how does the giant isopod survive? First, their metabolism is incredibly slow. In an environment where meals can be months apart, energy conservation is everything. Giant isopods can go for astonishingly long periods without eating. In some documented cases, over 4 years in captivity. 4 years. This survival strategy is critical in the deep ocean, where food usually comes in the form of marine snow. Tiny bits of organic debris drifting down from above, or the occasional carcass of a dead whale, or fish sinking to the ocean floor. When such a feast appears, giant isopods waste no time. They can gorge themselves, consuming large amounts of food in a single sitting. Their stomachs expand dramatically, sometimes making them look almost balloon-like. It's a strategy of extremes, long periods of starvation followed by sudden abundance. While their appearance might be intimidating, giant isopods play an essential ecological role. They are scavengers. In the deep sea, nothing goes to waste. When a large animal dies and sinks, a phenomenon known as a whale fall, it becomes a temporary oasis of life in the dark. Giant isopods are among the first to arrive, joining hagfish, crabs, and other scavengers in breaking down the carcass by consuming dead organisms. They help recycle nutrients back into the ecosystem. Without scavengers like giant isopods, the ocean floor would accumulate decaying matter, disrupting the delicate balance of deep-sea life. They are nature's recyclers, efficient, patient, and perfectly adapted to their job. Why are they so big? One of the most striking things about giant isopods is their size. While common pill bugs are only about half an inch long, giant isopods can grow up to 16 inches. Roughly the size of a small house cat. This phenomenon is known as deep-sea gigantism. In the deep ocean, many species grow much larger than their shallow water relatives. Scientists believe several factors may contribute to this. Lower temperatures can slow metabolism and extend lifespan, allowing animals to grow larger. Fewer predators may reduce pressure to stay small and hidden. Larger body size can help store more energy in an environment where food is unpredictable. Whatever the exact cause, deep-sea gigantism gives giant isopods their dramatic and unforgettable appearance. In total darkness, vision might seem useless, but giant isopods have large, compound eyes made up of thousands of individual units called ommatidia. These eyes are highly sensitive to light. Even the faintest glow, while sunlight doesn't reach their habitat, bioluminescent organisms do. Many deep-sea creatures produce their own light. The ability to detect subtle flashes can help giant isopods locate food, avoid predators, or navigate their environment. Their eyes are so sensitive. In fact, that exposure to bright light at the surface can damage them. This is why giant isopods brought up for research must be handled carefully. Reproduction in the deep sea is another challenge. Female giant isopods have a special brood pouch, known as a marsupium, where they carry the eggs. This pouch protects the developing young until they are ready to emerge as fully formed miniature isopods. Unlike many marine animals that release larvae into the water column, giant isopods skip the free-swimming larval stage. The young hatches small versions of adults, already equipped to survive on the ocean floor. This strategy increases their chances of survival in an environment where drifting freely could mean never finding suitable habitat. Despite decades of marine exploration, we still know surprisingly little about giant isopods. Studying deep-sea animals is expensive and technically challenging. Specialized submersibles and remotely operated vehicles are required to reach their habitat. As a result, many aspects of their behavior, lifespan, and population dynamics remain unclear. What we do know is that they are not aggressive monsters. They are slow-moving scavengers, far more likely to retreat than attack. Their alien-like appearance has made them popular in aquariums, documentaries, and even internet memes. In Japan, they have become something of a cultural icon. But fascination aside, they represent something much bigger. They are a reminder of how little we truly understand about our own planet. More than 80% of the ocean remains unexplored. The deep sea is often compared to outer space, vast, dark, and largely unknown. Creatures like the giant isopod challenge our assumptions about what life can look like and where it can thrive. They show us that evolution does not always follow the patterns we expect. In crushing darkness and extreme pressure, life doesn't just survive, it adapts, innovates, and endures. And as deep-sea mining and industrial activity expand, understanding these ecosystems becomes more urgent. The deep ocean may feel distant, but it plays a critical role in regulating Earth's climate, cycling nutrients, and supporting biodiversity. Protecting it means protecting species we may not even have discovered yet. At first glance, the giant isopod might seem unsettling. Its armored plates, numerous legs, and blank stare can trigger a sense of unease. But when we look closer, we see something remarkable. We see a creature that has survived mass extinctions, a species that has endured for millions of years, an organism perfectly adapted to one of the harshest environments on Earth. It is not a monster. It is a survivor. Final thoughts. The giant isopod reminds us that beauty in nature does not always fit our expectations. Sometimes it looks strange. Sometimes it looks alien. But every species plays a role in the intricate web of life. Next time you think about the ocean, remember that beneath the waves, far below the reach of sunlight, entire worlds exist. Worlds where armored scavengers patrol the seabed. Worlds where survival depends on patience. Worlds that have remained largely unchanged for millions of years. And in those silent depths, the giant isopod continues its slow journey across the ocean floor, a living symbol of resilience in the dark. If you enjoyed learning about this incredible deep-sea survivor, consider exploring more about the hidden life of our oceans. Because the more we discover, the more we realize how extraordinary our planet truly is. The deep sea isn't empty. It's alive. In the freezing, dark waters of the North Atlantic, where temperatures hover just above ice and the seafloor is covered in rock coral and silent shadows, lives a predator with crushing jaws and teeth built like daggers. This is the wolffish. At first glance, it looks almost prehistoric. Thick, wrinkled skin, a massive head, sharp, protruding teeth that seem too large for its mouth. It looks like something from another era of Earth's history, but the wolffish is very real and perfectly adapted to one of the harshest marine environments on the planet. The Atlantic wolffish, scientifically known as Anarhichus lupus, is not your typical fish. Unlike sleek, fast predators like sharks or tuna, the wolffish is built for power, not speed. Its large head houses incredibly strong jaw muscles. Its front teeth are sharp and canine-like, which is where it gets its name. Behind those fangs are rows of crushing molars designed to break open hard shells. This fish doesn't chase fast prey. It hunts armored animals. Sea urchins, crabs, lobsters, clams. Even thick-shelled mollusks. With one powerful bite, it can crush through exoskeletons that would protect other creatures. In a world where survival often depends on strength, the wolffish has evolved into a living nutcracker of the sea. Wolffish are typically found in the cold waters of the North Atlantic, along the coasts of the United States, Canada, Greenland, Iceland, and Northern Europe. They prefer rocky seabeds at depths ranging from shallow coastal waters down to nearly 2,000 feet. Temperatures in these regions can drop close to freezing. So how does the wolffish survive? Its body produces natural antifreeze proteins in its blood. These special proteins prevent ice crystals from forming inside its tissues. Without this adaptation, the icy waters could be deadly. This biological antifreeze is one of nature's most remarkable survival tools, allowing wolffish to thrive where many other species cannot. With a face like that, you might assume the wolffish is aggressive. But surprisingly, they are not known to attack humans. In fact, wolffish are generally slow-moving and prefer to conserve energy. They spend much of their time resting among rocks, blending into the seafloor with their mottled gray and blue coloration. They rely on camouflage and patience rather than speed. When divers encounter wolffish, the fish often remain still, observing rather than attacking. Their intimidating appearance is more about survival than aggression. It's a defensive look shaped by millions of years of evolution. Wolffish play an important ecological role in the North Atlantic ecosystem. One of their favorite foods is the sea urchin. Sea urchins feed on kelp forests, underwater ecosystems that provide habitat for countless marine species. If sea urchin populations grow unchecked, they can devastate kelp forests, turning them into barren underwater deserts. By preying on sea urchins, wolffish help maintain balance in these fragile ecosystems. They are not just predators, they are ecosystem stabilizers. Without species like the wolffish, entire underwater forests could collapse. The wolffish's bite is one of its most impressive features. Their jaws are strong enough to crush the shells of crabs and even large lobsters. Inside their mouth, they have multiple rows of teeth, sharp fangs in front and rounded crushing teeth in the back. But here's something fascinating. Wolffish lose and regrow their teeth every year. Over time, the constant crushing of shells wears down their teeth. Instead of being stuck with dull tools, they naturally replace them. It's like getting a brand new set of industrial-grade teeth annually. This continuous renewal ensures they remain effective hunters throughout their lives. Unlike many fish species that release thousands of eggs into open water, wolffish take a different approach. They lay large clusters of eggs on the ocean floor, often in rocky crevices for protection. What makes them unusual is parental care. Male wolffish have been observed guarding the eggs until they hatch. In some cases, both parents remain nearby to protect the developing young. This level of care is relatively rare among fish and increases the survival rate of their offspring. The eggs themselves are unusually large compared to other fish species, sometimes as big as a marble. From the very beginning, wolffish are built tough despite their resilience. Wolffish face challenges. In some regions, populations have declined due to overfishing and habitat disruption, although they were not traditionally targeted as a primary commercial species. They were often caught accidentally in trawl fisheries. Habitat damage from bottom trawling can also impact their rocky seabed homes in certain areas of the North Atlantic. The Atlantic wolffish has been listed as a species of concern. Conservation efforts now focus on monitoring populations and protecting critical habitats to ensure this unique predator continues to thrive. The wolffish is a reminder that evolution doesn't always create beauty in the way humans define. Instead, it creates efficiency. Every wrinkle in its thick skin, every sharp tooth, every powerful jaw muscle is the result of millions of years of adaptation. It is perfectly engineered for crushing shells in icy waters. In the cold darkness of the Atlantic, appearance doesn't matter. Function does. Because they lack the glamour of sharks or the elegance of dolphins, wolffish are often overlooked in marine documentaries. But they represent something equally fascinating, a specialized predator with a unique ecological role. They show us that not all ocean predators rely on speed or stealth. Some rely on patience and crushing force. Some rely on antifreeze in their blood. Some survive not by being the fastest, but by being the strongest in their niche. The North Atlantic may look calm on the surface, but below it is a complex and dynamic ecosystem filled with species uniquely adapted to extreme conditions. The wolffish is one of its most distinctive inhabitants. It survives freezing temperatures. It crushes armored prey. It guards its young. It helps protect underwater forests. And it does all this with a face that looks like it belongs in a prehistoric ocean. The wolffish may not win beauty contests, but it wins in survival. In a world of shifting climates and human impact, understanding creatures like the wolffish is more important than ever. They remind us that the ocean is not just vast, it is delicate. Every predator has a purpose. Every species plays a role. And sometimes the creatures that look the fiercest are simply the most perfectly adapted. The next time you think about the Atlantic Ocean, imagine the rocky seabed below, where a silent, sharp-toothed guardian patrols the cold depths. The wolffish, a true predator of the frozen sea. What if we told you that Pikachu exists, not in a video game, not in an animated series, but in the real ocean? And it's not fiction. Beneath the waves, in warm coastal waters across the Indo-Pacific, lives a tiny sea creature so adorable and so unusual that divers nicknamed it the Pikachu sea slug. But this isn't a Pokémon. It's a real marine animal, and its real name is the nudibranch. At first glance, it's easy to see why people make the comparison: bright yellow body, black tipped ears, rounded shape, playful appearance, but those ears aren't ears at all. They are called rhinophores, specialized sensory organs that help the animal detect chemicals in the water. Nudibranches rely heavily on these structures to smell their surroundings and locate food, mates, and danger. The species most often called the Pikachu sea slug is Thecachera pacifica. It's a type of nudibranch, a soft-bodied marine gastropod mollusk. In simple terms, it's a sea slug. But unlike the slugs you might see in a garden, nudibranches are some of the most colorful and fascinating creatures in the ocean. The word nudibranch comes from Latin and means naked gills. Unlike many sea creatures, nudibranches lack protective shells in their adult form. Instead of armor, they rely on something else for survival: color. There are more than 3,000 known species of nudibranches, and they come in nearly every color imaginable: electric blue, neon orange, deep purple, and vibrant yellow. The Pikachu sea slug is just one example of how evolution can produce something that looks almost cartoon-like. But in the ocean, bright colors are rarely accidental. In the wild, bright colors often serve as a warning. This is called aposematism, a survival strategy where an animal advertises that it is toxic, distasteful, or dangerous to eat. Many nudibranches consume toxic prey like sponges, hydroids, and sea anemones. Some species can even absorb and store toxins from their food, making themselves poisonous to predators. Others go a step further. Some nudibranches can take the stinging cells from jellyfish or hydroids and incorporate them into their own bodies, essentially stealing weapons from their prey. So those cute colors, they're a warning sign. In the ocean, adorable can also mean untouchable. Nudibranches are not fast. They glide slowly across reefs and rocky seabeds, using a muscular foot to move. So how do they survive if they can't escape predators quickly? They rely on camouflage, toxins, and warning colors. And surprisingly, they also rely on timing. Many nudibranches are active during specific times of day when predators are less active. Some are nocturnal, emerging under the cover of darkness. Their small size, often just a few centimeters long, also helps them avoid detection. They may look playful and cartoonish to us, but in reality, they are masters of subtle survival. Where can you find them? The Pikachu sea slug, Thecachura pacifica, is typically found in the Indo-Pacific region, including waters near Indonesia, the Philippines, Japan, and parts of Australia. Divers in these regions often celebrate spotting one. Underwater photographers travel long distances just to capture their vibrant colors. Because they are small and often blend into coral or reef environments, spotting one feels like finding hidden treasure. And that's part of the magic. The ocean is still full of surprises. No shell, no problem. Most snails and slugs are known for carrying shells at some stage in their lives. But nudibranches lose their shells after their larval stage. Without a hard exterior, you might assume they are vulnerable. But evolution has compensated. Some species develop chemical defenses. Others mimic toxic animals. Some use spines or elaborate body shapes to confuse predators. The Pikachu sea slug doesn't rely on speed or strength, it relies on biology, and biology is often the most powerful tool of all. Those black-tipped projections that resemble Pikachu's ears are not for hearing, they are sensory. Organs packed with chemoreceptors. Think of them as extremely advanced noses in the ocean. Vision is limited. Water absorbs light quickly, and visibility can be reduced by particles and depths, so many marine animals depend more on chemical signals than sight. The rhinophores allow nudibranches to smell food sources and even detect pheromones from potential mates in a world of currents and chemical trails. This ability is critical. Nudibranches have one more fascinating trait: they are hermaphrodites. That means each individual has both male and female reproductive organs. When two nudibranches meet, they can fertilize each other simultaneously in environments where encounters may be rare. This dramatically increases reproductive success after mating. They lay spiral-shaped egg ribbons on reefs or rocks. If you've ever seen a delicate, ribbon-like structure underwater, you may have witnessed a nudibranch's egg mass. It's another example of how even the smallest creatures can display extraordinary biology. It's easy to look at a Pikachu sea slug and see something cute. But these creatures are more than just adorable divers' favorites. They are indicators of reef health. Because nudibranches often have very specific diets, their presence can signal that certain sponges, hydroids, or coral ecosystems are thriving. If reef conditions decline due to pollution, warming waters, or ocean acidification, nudibranch populations can also decline. They are small pieces of a much larger environmental puzzle. And as climate change continues to impact oceans worldwide, understanding even tiny species becomes increasingly important. One of the most incredible things about nudibranches is how many species are still being discovered. Even today, marine biologists continue to identify new species in coral reefs and deep-sea environments. The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet, yet much of it remains unexplored. Creatures like the Pikachu sea slug remind us that Earth still holds wonders we have barely begun to understand. They challenge the idea that fantasy is separate from reality. Sometimes, reality is even more imaginative. Yes, it looks like Pikachu. Yes, it's tiny and colorful. But beneath that charming appearance is a creature shaped by millions of years of evolution. A shell-less mollusk that turned color into defense. A slow mover that turned chemistry into survival. A tiny ocean dweller that became an internet sensation. In the end, the Pikachu sea slug is proof that nature doesn't need animation to create something magical. It does it naturally. The next time someone says that creatures from cartoons couldn't exist in real life, tell them about the nudibranch. Tell them about the sea slug that looks like Pikachu. Tell them that the ocean is stranger, more colorful, and more imaginative than fiction, because sometimes The most unbelievable creatures are completely real. In the darkest parts of our ocean, where sunlight never reaches, where pressure is crushing and food is scarce, there lives a fish that doesn't swim like others. It stands on 3 legs. This is the tripod fish, one of the strangest and most fascinating creatures in the deep sea. Most fish are built for movement. They glide, dart, hunt, and flee, but the tripod fish has evolved a completely different strategy. Instead of constantly swimming through the water column, it plants itself on the ocean floor using 3 long, thin fin rays, 2 from its pelvic fins and 1 from its tail. These elongated rays form a tripod structure, allowing the fish to stand upright on soft sediment thousands of feet below the surface. It's like a living camera tripod anchored in the darkness, and it can remain there for long periods of time. Waiting, the tripod fish lives at depths between 2,000 and 15,000 feet below the ocean surface. At these depths, sunlight is completely absent, temperatures are near freezing. Pressure is immense, hundreds of times stronger than at sea level. In such extreme conditions, survival requires innovation. Food doesn't swim by frequently. Energy must be conserved. So instead of chasing prey, the tripod fish waits for it to come. When the tripod fish stands on its long fin rays, its body hovers slightly above the seafloor. Its pectoral fins extend outward like delicate wings. These fins are highly sensitive to movement. As tiny crustaceans or drifting organisms pass by in deep-sea currents, the fish detects subtle vibrations, and when the moment is right, it strikes. Not with explosive speed like a shark, but with precise, efficient motion in the deep sea. Patience beats power. You might wonder, why stand at all? Why not simply float? In the deep ocean, currents can carry food particles and small animals across the seafloor. By elevating itself, the tripod fish positions its body directly in the path of drifting prey. It turns itself into a living net. Instead of wasting energy swimming, it lets the ocean deliver meals to it. This strategy is incredibly energy efficient, a key survival trait in a habitat where calories are rare. The tripod fish's eyes are small because vision isn't very useful in complete darkness. Instead, it relies on mechanoreceptors, specialized sensory cells that detect vibrations and pressure changes in water. Its long fin rays may also function as sensory tools. These extensions are flexible and sensitive, helping the fish detect movement in surrounding currents. In a world without light, sensing motion is everything. Some scientists believe the tripod fish may even orient itself facing into the current to maximize feeding opportunities. It's a master of positioning. The tripod fish has another extraordinary trait. It is hermaphroditic. Each individual possesses both male and female reproductive organs. In the deep sea, encounters between individuals can be rare. By being hermaphroditic, any two tripod fish that meet can reproduce. This dramatically increases their chances of passing on genes in an environment where meeting a mate is never guaranteed. It's another example of how deep-sea species evolve solutions to extreme isolation. The tripod fish looks delicate. Its fin rays are thin and almost translucent. Its body appears fragile. But don't let that fool you. These fish are adapted to enormous pressure. Their bodies contain specialized proteins and cellular structures that function under extreme compression. Unlike shallow water species, they don't have gas-filled swim bladders that would collapse at depth. Everything about them is designed for life in crushing darkness. More than half of our planet's surface lies in deep ocean environments like the one the tripod fish calls home, and yet we know more about the surface of Mars than we do about much of our own seafloor. Creatures like the tripod fish challenge our imagination. They don't look like traditional fish. They don't behave like typical predators. They stand silently, anchored to the abyss. They represent how life adapts when pushed to extremes. Because tripod fish live so deep, they are rarely seen by humans. Most observations come from remotely operated vehicles, robotic submarines equipped with cameras. When scientists first recorded footage of a tripod fish standing upright, it stunned viewers. It looked almost artificial, almost like a creature placed carefully on stilts, but this is natural evolution at work. Over millions of years, deep-sea species have evolved strategies that seem almost alien to us. The tripod fish isn't just strange, it's important. Deep-sea ecosystems play a critical role in regulating Earth's climate. They store carbon, recycle nutrients, and support biodiversity. Every species, even one that stands silently on three fins, is part of a complex ecological network. As deep-sea mining and industrial activities expand, these fragile habitats face growing threats. Understanding species like the tripod fish helps us appreciate what's at stake. Because you cannot protect what you don't understand. When we think of evolution, we often imagine strength, speed, or aggression, but the tripod fish represents something different: innovation through stillness, success through patience, adaptation through efficiency. It doesn't dominate its environment, it blends into it. It doesn't chase, it waits, and in the deep sea, that's enough. In the pitch-black depths of the ocean, where pressure would crush unprotected bodies and sunlight never shines, a fish stands quietly on three long legs. It doesn't roar, it doesn't hunt dramatically, it simply waits. And sometimes survival isn't about being the strongest, it's about being the most efficient. The tripod fish may look alien, it may look fragile, but it is perfectly engineered for one of the harshest environments on Earth. And somewhere, thousands of feet below us right now, one is standing silently in the dark, waiting.
Beneath the calm, crystal-clear waters of a quiet coastal spring, where sunlight dances gently across the sandy floor, a tender story unfolds. In this peaceful underwater world, far away from the noise of human life, a baby manatee drifts closely beside its mother, safe, protected, and deeply loved. This is the heartwarming story of a mother and her calf. A story of survival, bonding, and the quiet beauty of ocean wildlife. Manatees, often called sea cows, are among the ocean's gentlest giants, slow-moving and peaceful. They spend their days grazing on seagrass beds, gliding gracefully through warm coastal waters. But behind their calm appearance lies a powerful story of motherhood, one built on patience, protection, and unconditional care. Today, we follow a newborn calf, only a few weeks old, as it learns its first lessons in the vast underwater world. A baby manatee enters the world already strong, but still incredibly dependent. At birth, calves can weigh between 60 and 70 pounds and measure around 4 feet long. Despite their size, they are vulnerable. From the very first breath, the bond between mother and baby is immediate. The calf instinctively swims upward for air, guided gently by its mother's massive body beside it. She stays close, always close, nudging her baby carefully, making sure it reaches the surface safely. For the first year of its life, this baby will not leave her side. As we watch underwater, the calf curls itself toward its mother's chest, nestling beneath her flipper. This isn't just affection, it's survival. The baby nurses underwater, holding its breath while staying pressed against her warmth. In these quiet moments, we witness something deeply emotional: trust without hesitation. Life in the ocean is not without danger. Although manatees have few natural predators, the greatest threats come from human activity: boat strikes, pollution, and habitat loss. That is why the mother remains constantly alert. As she moves through the water, the calf mirrors her every motion. When she rises to breathe, the baby rises. When she grazes on seagrass, the baby watches closely. When she shifts direction, the calf quickly adjusts. This is how manatees learn, through observation. The mother teaches her baby where to find food, how to navigate currents, and when to rest. She chooses warm waters carefully, especially during colder seasons, because manatees are sensitive to temperature changes. Every movement is a lesson, every nudge is guidance, every cuddle is reassurance. In one especially touching moment, the baby swims upward and presses its tiny face gently against its mother's side. The mother pauses. She wraps her large flipper slightly around the calf, holding it close. It's a simple gesture, but it speaks volumes. Scientists believe manatees communicate through soft squeaks and chirps, sounds that are especially important between mother and calf. Each pair recognizes one another's voice, even in murky waters. Their connection remains unbreakable. This closeness is not just emotional, it's biological. The calf's heartbeat slows when near its mother. Its stress levels decrease. its movements become calm and rhythmic. This is the power of maternal presence. As weeks pass, the baby begins to explore more confidently. It practices short bursts of swimming, circling around its mother playfully before returning to her side. Sometimes it rolls gently in the water, discovering the sensation of buoyancy and balance. But even in playful moments, it never strays far. Manatee calves typically stay with their mothers for up to 2 years. During this time, they transition slowly from nursing to grazing on seagrass themselves. We see the baby attempt its first bites of vegetation clumsy, curious, learning. The mother continues feeding, nearby, keeping watch. Her role is constant, tireless, protective. While this underwater world seems peaceful, reality is fragile. Boat engines echo above the surface. Propellers pose silent danger. Seagrass beds, their primary food source, are shrinking in many regions. In places like Florida, conservationists work tirelessly to protect these gentle creatures. Speed zones are enforced in manatee habitats, rescue teams rehabilitate injured animals, sanctuaries provide safe winter refuges. The survival of this baby depends not only on its mother, but on human awareness. Every slow-moving boat, every protected waterway, every conservation effort, it all matters. As sunset light filters into the water, the mother and calf float almost motionless. The baby leans into her once more. There is something universal in this image, something that transcends species. Across oceans and continents, motherhood carries the same language: protection, patience, and love. The baby's small eye closes briefly as it rests against her. The mother remains awake, guarding, breathing slowly, present in the wild. Survival is never guaranteed. Yet in this moment, there is peace. One day, this baby will grow into a full-sized adult, weighing over 1,000 pounds. It will travel independently through coastal waters, perhaps even raise calves of its own. But for now, it is still small, still learning, still cuddling, still listening to its mother's soft underwater calls. The early years shape everything. The routes they swim, the feeding grounds they remember, the safety patterns they develop. This quiet underwater classroom is where the next generation of manatees is formed. As we leave this gentle pair drifting through the ocean, we are reminded of something simple yet powerful. The ocean is not just water. It is home. Home to stories of survival. Home to bonds that mirror our own. Home to moments of tenderness we are lucky enough to witness. The adorable baby manatee cuddling with its mom, it's more than just a cute sight. It is a symbol of resilience, a reminder of nature's softness, a call to protect what is peaceful. Because in protecting them, we preserve the beauty of our planet. And somewhere beneath the surface, a baby manatee still swims closely beside its mother, safe, loved, and learning the rhythm of the sea. Thanks for joining us on this journey. If you found this story as heartwarming as we did, please like this video and subscribe for more amazing wildlife moments. We'll see you next time. Beneath the surface of our oceans lies a world almost no human has ever seen. A place without sunlight. A place of pressure so intense it could crush steel. And in this silent, freezing darkness lives a creature that looks almost unreal. Meet the transparent squid, a ghost of the deep sea. The deep sea begins where sunlight fades away, typically below 200 meters. Beyond this point lies the twilight zone, and deeper still, the midnight zone. In this environment, survival requires extraordinary adaptations. There is no light for photosynthesis, food is scarce, predators are everywhere, and yet, life thrives here, strange, alien-like, and perfectly designed for darkness. Among the most fascinating of these creatures is the transparent squid. Transparency in the deep sea is not an accident. It is a brilliant survival strategy. Unlike fish near the surface that use camouflage colors like blues, greens, and silvers to blend in, many deep-sea animals take a different approach. They eliminate color entirely. Their bodies become nearly invisible in the water, like a pane of glass sinking into the abyss. For a squid, this is incredibly effective. With no solid pigment reflecting light, predators struggle to detect its outline, even in the faint, ghostly glow of bioluminescent creatures nearby. A transparent body makes it nearly invisible. In a world where being seen means being eaten, Invisibility is a superpower. Let's take a closer look at the transparent squid. Its body is gelatinous and delicate, yet perfectly structured to withstand extreme pressure. Unlike its shallow water cousins, its tissues are less dense, which is a clever way to conserve energy in an environment where the next meal is never guaranteed. This also helps it maintain neutral buoyancy, allowing it to drift effortlessly through the water column without constantly swimming. Its large, captivating eyes are another remarkable feature. In the pitch black of the deep sea, vision is everything. These oversized eyes are like powerful telescopes, allowing the squid to detect the faintest flashes of light, whether it is the bioluminescent lure of its prey, the telltale glow of a predator approaching from below, or the subtle light patterns of a potential mate. And those long, elegant tentacles? They are not just for show, they are precision tools, designed to snatch small crustaceans and other drifting organisms out of the water. With incredible accuracy, all in near total darkness. Every single part of this squid is meticulously engineered for survival in one of Earth's most inhospitable environments. Now, you might be thinking, if it's transparent, why would it ever need light? Well, many deep-sea squid species, including some transparent ones, possess bioluminescent organs, the ability to produce their own light. This might sound completely contradictory for an animal trying to stay invisible, but light in the deep sea is not for visibility, it's for deception. It's a tool used for communication, hunting, and defense. Some squid use flashes of light to startle and confuse predators, giving them a precious moment to escape into the darkness. Others use it to lure an unsuspecting prey, a deadly beacon in the void. Perhaps the most ingenious use of light is a technique known as counter-illumination. Imagine a predator swimming below, looking up. Anything between it and the faint light filtering down from the surface will appear as a dark silhouette, an easy target. To combat this, the transparent squid can activate light-producing organs on its underside. It adjusts the brightness of its glow to perfectly match the faint light from above, effectively erasing its own shadow. Instead of casting a silhouette that reveals its presence, it glows softly, blending in completely. In the deep ocean, light is not just illumination. It's a strategy, it's a weapon, it's a cloak of invisibility. Let's talk about the pressure. At depths of 1,000 meters or more, the pressure can exceed 100 times the pressure we experience at sea level. For a human, that would be instantly fatal. Our bodies simply aren't built for it. But for the transparent squid, it's just another Tuesday. Its home, its body contains special biochemical adaptations, unique proteins and molecules that prevent its cells and tissues from collapsing under the immense weight of the ocean above. It's flexible. Gelatinous tissues allow it to move efficiently and gracefully, without wasting precious energy fighting the force of the water. This is evolution at its finest. Millions and millions of years of refinement, shaping a creature perfectly suited to a hostile, alien world. It's no surprise that humans rarely see transparent squid in their natural habitat. Most of what we know comes from fleeting glimpses captured by deep-sea submersibles and remotely operated vehicles. Our robotic eyes in the abyss. These encounters are rare and incredibly valuable. Each new observation, each piece of footage, reveals something surprising, a new species we never knew existed, a new, baffling behavior, a new mystery to unravel. Even today, with all our advanced technology, scientists estimate that we have explored less than 10% of our own ocean. Think about that. Over 90% of the ocean remains a mystery. That means countless species, perhaps even stranger and more wonderful than the transparent squid, remain completely undiscovered, living their lives in the dark. The transparent squid is a powerful reminder of how little we truly know about our own planet. It shows us that in the deepest, coldest, most crushing darkness, life not only survives, it adapts, it innovates, and it thrives in ways we can barely imagine. This ghost-like creature, drifting silently through the abyss, is not just a biological wonder. It is a symbol of nature's endless, mind-bending creativity. As our technology continues to advance and our deep-sea exploration continues, We may one day uncover even more of the secrets hidden beneath the waves. Until then, the transparent squid remains one of the ocean's most mesmerizing and beautiful mysteries. A living, breathing phantom of the deep. Thanks for watching. Imagine a world where the male, not the female, becomes pregnant. It may sound impossible, but in the mysterious depths of the ocean, this incredible phenomenon is completely real. Meet the seahorse, one of the most fascinating and unusual creatures in the marine world. These small, delicate animals might look fragile, but they hold one of the most extraordinary reproductive systems in the entire animal kingdom. And yes, in seahorses, the males are the ones that get pregnant. Seahorses belong to the genus Hippocampus, a group of marine fish found in shallow tropical and temperate waters around the world. They are commonly found among coral reefs, seagrass beds, and mangroves, where they use their unique bodies to blend perfectly into their surroundings. At first glance, seahorses don't look like fish at all. They have a horse-like head, a curled tail, and a body covered in bony plates rather than scales. Their upright posture makes them look almost like tiny underwater dragons drifting through the ocean. But their appearance is only the beginning of what makes them special. One of the most remarkable features of seahorses is their prehensile tail. Unlike most fish, seahorses use their tails to grip onto coral, seaweed, or seagrass, anchoring themselves against ocean currents. They also have the ability to move each eye independently, similar to a chameleon. This allows them to watch for predators and prey at the same time. But perhaps the most astonishing thing about seahorses is their reproductive system. In most animals, the female carries the eggs and gives birth. But seahorses turn this rule completely upside down. During mating season, the female seahorse deposits her eggs into a special brood pouch located on the male's abdomen. Once the eggs are safely inside the pouch, the male fertilizes them. From that moment on, the male seahorse becomes pregnant. Inside the brood pouch, the eggs are protected and nourished as they develop into baby seahorses. The pouch functions almost like a placenta in mammals, providing oxygen and nutrients while removing waste. This makes the male seahorse one of the very few creatures on Earth where true male pregnancy occurs. The pregnancy period usually lasts between 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the species and water temperature. And when the time finally comes, something incredible happens. The male seahorse goes through powerful muscular contractions, pushing the fully formed baby seahorses out of the pouch. This process can take several hours. Hundreds of tiny baby seahorses may be born at once. Each baby is a miniature version of the adult, already capable of swimming and surviving on its own. However, life in the ocean is extremely dangerous for these tiny newborns. Without parental care after birth, only a small percentage of baby seahorses survive to adulthood. This is why seahorses produce so many offspring at once, increasing the chances that at least some will survive. Seahorses are also known for something else quite rare in the animal world: monogamy. Many seahorse species form strong pair bonds with a single partner. Every morning, the pair performs a beautiful courtship ritual known as a greeting dance. They change colors, intertwine tails, and swim together in synchronized movements. This daily ritual strengthens their bond and helps synchronize their reproductive cycles. When the male gives birth, the pair often mates again shortly afterward, beginning the cycle once more. But despite their fascinating biology, seahorses face many threats in the modern world. Habitat destruction, pollution, and climate change are affecting seagrass beds and coral reefs where seahorses live. In addition, millions of seahorses are captured every year for traditional medicine, souvenirs, and the aquarium trade. Because of these pressures, many seahorse species are now considered vulnerable or threatened. Conservation efforts are underway around the world to protect these unique animals and their habitats. Marine protected areas, sustainable fishing practices, and public awareness campaigns are helping scientists and conservationists ensure that seahorses continue to thrive in our oceans. Seahorses remind us that the ocean is full of surprises. From glowing deep-sea creatures to animals where fathers carry the babies, nature continues to challenge what we think we know about life on Earth. The story of the seahorse proves that the ocean still holds countless mysteries waiting to be discovered. And perhaps the most amazing part is this: even the smallest creatures can have the most extraordinary stories. So next time you see a seahorse drifting quietly through the water, remember, you might be looking at one of the only pregnant fathers in the entire animal kingdom.
In the vast blue silence of the ocean, life moves in ways we rarely notice. Beneath the surface, far from the noise of the human world, an ancient traveler glides slowly across the sandy sea floor. A sea turtle, calm, steady, and seemingly alone. At first glance, nothing about this moment seems unusual. The turtle appears to be resting. Its shell, weathered and textured by years of ocean currents, looks like a natural extension of the reef itself. It pauses, still and grounded, as sunlight filters down through the water above. But look closer, there's movement beneath the shell. Small shapes shifting carefully in the shadows. Tiny fish, not just one, but several, tucked safely under the turtle's body, using the space beneath its shell as a living shelter. It's a hidden world within a world. This is one of the ocean's quiet survival strategies. A remarkable example of how marine life adapts in ways that are both subtle and extraordinary. Sea turtles have roamed the Earth's oceans for over 100 million years. They survived the extinction of the dinosaurs. They have witnessed the shifting of continents and the changing climate of our planet. Built for endurance, their shells are powerful armor, strong enough to protect them from many predators. But today, their shell serves another purpose. It becomes a refuge. For small fish in the open ocean, danger is everywhere. Predators patrol constantly, larger fish, reef hunters, and other opportunistic species always searching for an easy meal. In such an environment, size matters, and for these tiny fish, survival depends on finding protection wherever they can. Coral reefs provide shelter, rock formations offer hiding spots. But in open sandy areas, safe spaces are limited. So when a sea turtle settles down on the ocean floor, it creates something rare, a moving shelter. The space beneath its body becomes a shaded sanctuary. A temporary shield against predators, a safe pause in an otherwise risky environment. And what's truly fascinating is that this behavior isn't random. In marine biology, this type of relationship is often described as commensalism. One species benefits while the other is neither harmed nor significantly helped. The turtle continues resting, unaware or unbothered by its tiny companions. Meanwhile, the fish gain protection and a higher chance of survival. It's a quiet agreement written not in intention, but in instinct. The fish instinctively recognize safety when they see it. The turtle instinctively tolerates their presence. And in that silent exchange, balance is maintained. But why would the turtle allow this? Sea turtles are generally peaceful creatures. Unlike many marine animals, they are not aggressive unless threatened. Their diet depends on species. Some feed on jellyfish, others on seagrass or sponges. These small fish are not a food source and they pose no threat, so there is no reason to drive them away. In fact, in some cases, small fish may even provide minor benefits, such as cleaning parasites from the turtle's skin. Though in this specific moment, the primary advantage clearly belongs to the fish. What we're witnessing is not just a cute or surprising scene. It's a glimpse into the complexity of marine ecosystems. Every part of the ocean is interconnected. Even a single resting turtle can influence the survival of multiple smaller creatures. Remove one piece and the ripple effect spreads. Sea turtles themselves face enormous challenges today. Despite surviving for millions of years, they are now considered vulnerable or endangered in many parts of the world. Habitat destruction, plastic pollution, fishing nets, climate change, all of these human-driven threats have placed immense pressure on turtle populations. When we see a turtle resting peacefully on the ocean floor, it represents resilience. But it also represents fragility because the ocean is changing faster than ever before. And moments like this, where a turtle unknowingly becomes a guardian, remind us of what's at stake. Imagine the perspective of those tiny fish. In the open ocean, they are exposed, vulnerable. Every shadow could be danger, but beneath this shell, there is calm. The turtle's size alone discourages predators from approaching too closely. The curve of the shell creates darkness, and in the ocean, darkness can mean safety. The fish hover gently, staying close to the protective edges. They move when the turtle moves, they pause when it pauses. It's almost like traveling with a bodyguard. Yet there is no communication, no spoken agreement. Only instinct and opportunity. Nature doesn't operate with contracts or negotiations, it operates with adaptation. This small moment also highlights something deeper about wildlife behavior. Intelligence isn't always about complex thought. Sometimes it's about recognizing patterns. Over generations, these fish species may have learned, through survival, that turtles represent safety. Those that stayed close lived longer. Those that didn't were more likely to be eaten. Natural selection does the rest. And over time, what began as coincidence becomes behavior. There's also something profoundly calming about watching a sea turtle at rest. Their movements are slow and deliberate. Their breathing steady. They carry an ancient energy, a reminder that life existed long before us and will, hopefully, continue long after. Yet today, the fate of these ancient creatures is closely tied to human action. Plastic waste often resembles jellyfish, a primary food source for some sea turtle species. When turtles mistake plastic for food, it can block their digestive system and lead to starvation. Fishing gear can entangle them, artificial lights on beaches can confuse hatchlings, leading them away from the ocean instead of toward it. So, when we see a healthy sea turtle in its natural habitat, we are witnessing something precious. And when we see other marine animals depending on it, even indirectly, we're reminded that protecting one species often protects many others. The ocean isn't just water. It's a network of relationships. Predator and prey, shelter and shelter seeker, strength and vulnerability. In this quiet underwater scene, all of those elements exist simultaneously. The turtle rests, the fish hide, life continues. And perhaps the most powerful part of this moment is how easily it could be overlooked. Without a closer look, we might only see a turtle on sand. But with patience, we uncover a story of cooperation, survival, and interconnected life. It's a reminder that nature's most incredible moments are often subtle. Not dramatic, not loud, but deeply meaningful. As the turtle eventually shifts and slowly moves forward, the fish adjust instantly, staying tucked in close, moving as a unit, protected beneath the curve of that ancient shell. And just like that, the sanctuary becomes mobile once again. A living, breathing shield drifting across the ocean floor. Incredible. So the next time you think of the ocean, think beyond the surface. Think of the hidden relationships. The quiet survival strategies, the unexpected guardians. Because sometimes what's hiding beneath the surface tells a far more powerful story than what we see at first glance. And in this case, beneath a single sea turtle's shell, we find a reminder of how beautifully connected life on Earth truly is. If you enjoyed discovering this hidden ocean moment, make sure to subscribe for more incredible wildlife stories from around the world. The ocean is full of secrets, and we're just getting started.
Imagine diving into the clear blue waters of the ocean, surrounded by coral reefs, colorful fish, and swaying sea plants. Among all the incredible marine life, you suddenly spot something tiny crawling slowly along the ocean floor. At first glance, it looks like a tiny sheep made of leaves, with two small black ears, a soft white face, and green leaf-like structures covering its back. This little creature looks almost like a character from a cartoon. But this adorable animal is completely real. Meet the leaf sheep sea slug, also known by its scientific name Costiciella crochamai. Despite its cute appearance, the leaf sheep is actually a type of sea slug. belonging to a group of marine animals called nudibranches. Sea slugs may not sound very exciting at first, but many of them are among the most colorful and fascinating creatures in the ocean, and the leaf sheep might just be one of the cutest of them all. Leaf sheep sea slugs are incredibly tiny. Most of them grow to only about 5 millimeters long, which is roughly the size of a grain of rice. Because of their tiny size, they can easily go unnoticed unless you look very carefully. They are usually found in warm tropical waters, especially around Japan, Indonesia, and the Philippines. These regions are famous for their rich marine biodiversity and beautiful coral reef ecosystems. But what makes the leaf sheep truly unique is its incredible ability to do something that almost no other animal can do. It can perform photosynthesis. Yes, just like plants. The leaf sheep sea slug feeds on algae, which are small plant-like organisms living in the ocean. When the slug eats the algae, it doesn't digest all of it completely. Instead, it keeps the algae's chloroplasts, which are the parts responsible for photosynthesis. These chloroplasts are stored inside the slug's leaf-like structures on its back. These structures are called chorata because of these stored chloroplasts. The leaf sheep can actually use sunlight to produce energy similar to how plants do. Scientists call this incredible ability kleptoplasty, which means stealing chloroplasts. This ability allows the leaf sheep to gain extra energy from sunlight, helping it survive in environments where food might be limited. Another fascinating feature of the leaf sheep is its appearance. The green leaf-like structures on its back not only store chloroplasts, but they also help the animal blend into its surroundings. This provides excellent camouflage among the algae and sea plants where it lives. Predators searching for food might easily mistake the slug for a tiny piece of plant life. This clever disguise helps protect the leaf sheep from being eaten. The two black horn-like structures on its head may look like ears, giving it its sheep-like appearance, but these are actually called rhinovers. Rhinovers are sensory organs that help the sea slug detect chemicals in the water. They allow the leaf sheep to locate food, sense danger, and navigate its environment. Even though the leaf sheep looks soft and fragile, it has evolved several clever survival strategies. Its camouflage helps it stay hidden, while its ability to use photosynthesis provides extra energy. These adaptations allow such a tiny creature to survive in the complex ecosystem of coral reefs. Leaf sheep sea slugs have also become extremely popular among underwater photographers and marine life enthusiasts because of their adorable appearance. They are often described as one of the cutest marine animals in the world. Photographers sometimes spend hours searching carefully among algae and coral just to find one. And when they finally spot one, the result is often a breathtaking macro photograph that reveals the incredible beauty of this tiny ocean creature. But despite their popularity in photography, leaf sheep are rarely seen by most people. Their tiny size and specialized habitats mean that they often remain hidden from casual divers. This makes every sighting feel like discovering a tiny secret of the ocean. The ocean is filled with millions of species, many of which we still know very little about. Creatures like the leaf sheep remind us that even the smallest animals can have the most amazing adaptations. From glowing deep-sea organisms to fish that can change color instantly, the ocean continues to surprise scientists and explorers, and sometimes the most extraordinary creatures are also the tiniest. The leaf sheep sea slug is a perfect example of how nature can combine beauty, creativity, and science in a single small organism. Its plant-like ability to harvest sunlight, its clever camouflage, and its charming appearance all make it one of the most fascinating creatures living beneath the waves. So the next time you think about the ocean, remember that it's not only home to giant whales and powerful sharks, it's also home to tiny, adorable creatures like the leaf sheep sea slug. A creature so small you could almost miss it, yet so unique that it continues to amaze scientists and ocean lovers around the world. Nature truly has a way of creating the most incredible surprises, and sometimes those surprises look like a tiny sheep made of leaves quietly grazing in the ocean.